Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2019, where we are once again going the distance. The Atlas curse is most certainly upon us, as it's been 3 games every night that I've been commentating. Thankfully, you guys had, Brendan, the last couple of days, some respite, but now I am back, and it's the long nights. And I do have LS with me. I just don't know whether he's going to be capable of speech.
I just had to get off the phone with an operator. Had to report an emergency.
Yeah, did you, I think same thing was happening with Teddy as well. Teddy's like, he's on an operator, he's trying to book a flight. He called up and they were like, oh, where would you, welcome to dinner, where would you like to go? And he's like, I just wanted to hear your voice.
Teddy was on the phone saying that his teammates were cloned or something.
Yeah. He's like, why does this always happen to me? But SKT did manage to pull through at the end. Teddy fan there in the audience with exactly the expression that I'd expect on Teddy's face.
You know, last game was really interesting.
Yeah,
Cal actually managed to be the MVP for both teams.
Yeah, as soon as it looked like they weren't going to win, he's like, I'm going to be the MVP on your side as well.
Yeah, that was really impressive, you know?
Well, let's see whether it can be impressive once again, as we are here for the final game of the final week.
Can't win, though. They're on red side. So, back it up.
The final game of the final day of week 1 is what I meant to say. But yes, they are on red side, so in theory, Afrika gets this one for free. Sona going to be banned, the Rek'Sai, and Ezreal on the side of Afrika thus far. Why what? Why what?
You know what? No, never mind.
What?
Let's just get you. Just let all the viewers, myself and you, have a nice viewing experience. Let's let Yuumi through.
All right.
And then let's pick her.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, we did let her through last time.
Yeah, and then
we didn't find the Yuumi button until the second ban phase. Sylas is going to be banned.
Probably a self-ban.
First pick.
What?
Understandable self-ban, so that Faker can't overshoot a wall again.
Yeah.
If you saw that on Twitter, I thought that I'd made a mistake with that particular call. Someone said that he actually got kicked over the wall. Not true. He actually just made a bit of a whoopsie. Unless he tried to get over the wall, which would have been cool if he was a ranged champion, but he was not. Olaf is going to be the third and final ban here for this first round from the Afrika Freaks as SKT take away the Sejuani. So Yuumi once again available.
So is Aatrox.
Yeah.
See if they end up selecting it for Keen. Let's take a look.
Lee Sin also up. So they might want to take that away from him.
It is going to be Aatrox.
An understandable pick based on how this series has gone. Not so understandable if you have LS's mindset as far as how a draft is supposed to go.
See what you did there?
Yeah. Go covering all the bases.
Ryze. Here we go. Let's just do it. Let's just get Ryze Lee Sin.
I actually would have liked to Ryze first.
No, see, this is the really interesting... This is the interesting thing here, is that we're seeing sort of a mirror, and it doesn't seem like they're willing to recreate it, as they're going to elect for Jace to be picked up for Khan and Elise. So they're like, you know what, we won with this. In game number 2, didn't win because of it. But
and also, it feels like it auto wins top lane as well. So that's a nice one. We've got Ukel's Yasuo most likely, unless this is going to be the bottom lane duo. Aiming loves Yasuo, and the Gragas a great pairing for that, whether it be from the jungle or whether it be from the support position. So nothing written in stone just yet, but a strong duo nonetheless, and lots of flexing done for Afrika.
I mean, Gragas isn't the only one that can help out Yasuo either, so this is really good. And Aatrox is probably going to be very easy for him to get his resets. The Akali pick is interesting.
And now what does SKT ban? Do they start banning supports? Do they start banning junglers? Like, do you start banning top laners? Do you start banning mid laners? Because honestly, in theory, Afrika Freaks could lock in any 2 other champions and fit everything else in.
You probably ban Tom so that you can at least try to go into the Elise Cocoon type thing. What?
They're assuming that it will be aiming at Senin on the Yasuo Gragas.
The Yasuo can just actually go into mid lane. There's no reason. So, a little bit surprising to see the Ryze ban now. Xayah being banned away, as she is one of the ADCs that can be quite a nuisance.
Also one of the champions that Afrika just lost to. Yep. A great reason to ban it. We've all done it in solo queue. There was that champion that beat me in the last time. Yep. I can win as long as that champion doesn't exist. perfect. Lissandra going to be taken away as well. Certainly was a fallback champion for UCAL in the spring season, but we don't talk about spring UCAL.
Lucian now going to be banned away. They want to remove some of the power away from Teddy. And so he'll just fall back onto the comfort of Kalista.
Insta-locks that one.
Kalistar.
Kalistar, indeed. And now we're going to have to find out where Afrika wants to take these champions as well.
They could just go Varus Galio.
They could do Varus Tahm Kench
if they want
to.
They could also do Draven Galio, but then it's massive amounts of physical damage coming out on their side. And this is really why I didn't like the way that they banned, is there's nothing actually dissuading Yasuo from going into the middle lane.
Yeah.
So I feel like SKT, I mean, this is the third draft of the night where I'm not impressed.
Well, Nautilus is going to be picked up alongside, so it's not going to be the very popular Varus Tahm Kench, and I am very happy about that one, because now we've added even more knockups to the mix.
Well, at this point, Galio will be picked up for SK Telecom. It is good against the Yasuo and the Aatrox, but SK Telecom, this is an extremely aggressive team composition, has to get ahead early.
Oh yeah,
they have no insurance policies.
And there's also not a lot of options when it comes to tanking the Baron. I guess you got Spiderlings or something like that, but SKT are super squishy this game. And they're going to be playing pretty Chaos style when it comes to these team fights as well, with their low health bars, but a lot of interesting mechanics that they can use, such as the Repel to stay out of the way, such as the Fate's Call and the Shroud that Fake is going to have access to, but Chaos style hasn't been how SKT's won games so far this season. And there's a big smile on UCAL's face. There is a lot of seriousness on Fakers.
Yep. SK Telecom are going to have their work cut out for them. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on Clid this game, on the Elise, to get the lanes ahead and rolling. And if he can't do it, they're going to have a lot of difficulty. He did it last game, though. He was actually all over the place and getting a lot of work done early on, especially after Afrika
stole his red and killed him.
Stole his red, killed him, and then Dread decided that he wanted to take 3 turret shots running through mid. Everything went a little bit downhill there. Aatrox, Gragas, Yasuo, Varus, and Nautilus. There is a lot of late game insurance inside of this team. A lot of pick potential. A lot of early game snowball potential. This team comp has so much more going for it. And then you go over to the side of SK Telecom and you're thinking, what am I looking at? KT?
Well, we're also looking at a lot of, I guess, topside jungle top duo power, right? So once again, they can get Khan ahead. In theory, Faker has a lot of power when he can get that isolated 1v1 in the mid lane once he hits level 6, and Teddy and Marta have played this duo lane a lot of times and have been very successful. But how it all works cohesively, we are yet to find out. We'll see whether we find out now as we hit the rift. T1 fans extraordinarily loud, and understandably so, as they're hoping that they can get themselves a follow-up victory. 2-2-1s in the first week is still 2 match wins, as SKT hanging out as a 4-man unit in this brush. Clid well and truly hiding inside the model of Marta right now, but Afrika aren't going to poke their heads in. Bit of a fun matchup here in the mid lane, the Yasuo versus Akali. Feels like they have similar vibes, you know, even though Yasuo is, in theory, a ninja. After the Akali rework, which kind of looks a little bit like Yasuo.
At this point, not going to be anything super chaotic happening in the early stages of the game, at least, as both teams are playing rather defensively.
Feels like both of these teams have selected some mid-game power rather than hyper late-game power as well, with the Varus being much more of a I want 2 items and running to kill you type AD carry, and Kalista being very similar to that.
Electrocute on Aatrox as well. Predator on the Gragas. And I mean, every single rune here is just standard. Geared, at early game dominance and whatnot. And so, again, if SK Telecom, if they find themselves just going even, they're going to have a very bad time in the mid game. They need to get advantages, they need to get leads, and unfortunately for them, they've been rolling bad dragons all night. They roll yet another bad one.
Yeah.
It's not a mountain or an infernal. which they would, in theory, like to use their early game aggression to be able to convert into. Oh,
Okay.
Khan.
Yeah,
A little bit of
shot
an
clock's going to
uncharacteristic miss.
Okay. Senin and aiming, having a good time. There's some interesting interactions here where Marta taunts Senin and stuns himself because of the passive. It's a fun one. As Khan misses yet another one. He was trying to hit a minion with that, guys. That wasn't aimed at Keen. But, did Keen start off on the Gromp camp as well, is another question, because he was walking to lane with 1 CS very late. And I think that might have been what he did, but I did miss it. I'm sorry, guys. Wasn't paying attention towards the top side at that point. As Faker going hyper-aggressive. Has the Ignite, remember, so this is very scary. Yukal going to miss the knock-up.
And now Klid going for an aggressive path. He's going to look for Dread. Doesn't quite find. Oh, we might find him right here.
Yeah,
oh,
the bop is going to come in. Oh, Cocoon goes wide. That ain't a great one as Keen. The flash, is he going to follow? The answer is no. They get a free flash out of Klid, and he also loses most of his health bar.
And the reason that I think that they're not flashing there is because the wave is crashed underneath the turret. And so even if you go over the wall and you kill the Elise, you lose out so much value if Khan's able to zone one of the remaining members, and it's not worth utilizing both of the flashes in order to go over the wall. So,
not to mention the fact that Rift Scuttler was up as well, and Dread had the health advantage, so can take that one for free. So they can take extra advantages. Faker also, with the advantage in mid lane, meant that he had the free roam first, because Yukal was back in base. As you can see, an 8 CS lead, that's 1 wave. The Faker has over
coming back around.
Yeah, Klid, if at first you don't succeed.
Yeah, he wants to really make this happen here. For Khan's chase, they're trying to dive the Aatrox, but it's really hard to get the crash on this cannon wave.
Yeah, Khan has full health, but he has no corrupting potion stacks.
Right,
remaining.
He's out of fuel.
Yeah, he is. Does have a bit of mana, but the Aatrox is going to be out of farm a lot.
Usually,
yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that competitively.
No, neither have I.
It looks like Yoshimitsu from Tekken.
It does a little bit.
You know?
Although Yoshimitsu has been in so many different forms in so many different games that I'm not even entirely sure which one you're talking about. Because there's like the Soul Calibur one, there's the Tekken one, there's
Soul Calibur
everywhere. Yeah.
The newest one came out, right? I didn't actually play.
No, I didn't play it either. There's Keen and Khan are fighting each other.
This is really bad for Khan.
Yep.
Now, he doesn't get hit by the Infernal Chains right there, but the lane state is miserable for him.
Yeah, and you saw that was why Keen moved up to that middle brush, so that it could put the wave in
Look
exactly
where
this position.
So if it goes teleport for teleport, Gragas is just going to path up.
Yep.
Here we go.
He does it.
Let's see. Yeah, hug the wall. Furthest most to the right. Least
and
response
the Predator.
vision. Yeah,
Predator's going to pop. Knockups are going to come in. Gets the flash forward. Infernal Chains have to be flashed. As there's the flash body slam. All too easy from the Afrika Freaks. That's what they had to do. It looked
top lane.
Really nice, but
over.
honestly, that was pretty easy from these guys.
So now Keen, because it's only a couple of spellcaster minions, they don't actually tank long enough. He actually does have to slowly start building up the wave and shoving it out. Gragas is going to look. This is such a cookie-cutter play at the professional level. Due to the minion lane state threatening the freeze, Khan has to teleport forward aggressively onto the minion wave to try to get the crash. He can't do it. Jungler's in close proximity. Super, super easy game.
Yeah, and there were 2 things that he had to flash, right? And as soon as there's 2 things that you have to flash, you're screwed. That's just basically how that works. So the Infernal Chains land, and from that point, the flash body slam is perfect. I mean, Khan did absolutely everything that he could to try and get out of that, but honestly, he just didn't have enough tools.
Now, Predator's actually going to be up again relatively soon, and so far, for Afrika, everything's actually going well for them in all of the lanes. One might argue that mid lane, a little bit of a CS deficit.
Yeah, and, you know, Yukal had to go back relatively early, but, you know, Yasuo isn't the greatest laner in the very early stages. See how Yukal is going to work paired in tandem with Dread once the last breath comes online. Does have it now, but we're yet to find the explosive cask from Dread.
I think the team that we last saw utilize the Yasuo Gragas very well was Kingzone.
Yes, they were brilliant. That was when Cuz was topping damage as Gragas. in those particular games. Very, very good. KT also tried their hand at it. As Armada gets the flash forward. There's a Justice Punch. Senin is most definitely dead, but they're going to try and turn this, aiming. Few auto attacks are going to come in. The Predator comes down. Ultimate's in. 1-for-1 trade as Teddy is going to get slowed down. Clid looking for more. Lancer Cocoon.
What?
Can Teddy find the Ren damage? He does so as aiming wants Clid. Finds it all too easily, and now it's a 1v1. Aiming a lot of auto attack damage, but Teddy able to get out of the way, holds onto his summoner spells.
And so right here, one of the interesting things is, yes, SK Telecom wants gold. They don't want to trade gold. So even though in the end right there it ended up being a trade, it's not really that good for them. And Break is going to be the one that benefit out from this. Now Khan, he's going to be forced to recall.
Yeah, he's going to fall further behind.
Yeah.
That's really scary stuff. Yukal looking for more. Just wants to clear out the
Faker
mini
wants
wave.
a solo kill.
He's ignited, but Senin's going to turn up. Dredgeline not going to find the mark, but he is slowed down. Ultimate's going to fly forward, and Faker picks up the kill. Finally, Faker with the big play in the early game. SKT power in the mid lane now.
And that's a really much-needed kill for SKT. We take a look at how this all ends up unfolding. Mata able to get the taunt off onto Senin. He goes down, but Dread is there, uses the ultimate. Very easy to pick up. He comes in here for the Chilling Smite and the Q onto Teddy. Now, it would be fine for him not to do this in trade, but it ends up being him for Clid in the end.
And the thing that's crazy is Varus works extraordinarily well when there are kills on the map. As we're going to see this one once again, I'll talk about it afterwards. Yukal just tries to clear minions, and unfortunately, Faker goes all in, and Yukal didn't get the memo.
Yeah. Yukal.
But we've got another fight. Senin's trying to protect aiming, but he's not going to be able to. Senin has to flash. Dredgeline comes forward. Mata with the ultimate just to guarantee that first kill. That will be that.
And so right now, Clid getting a lot going for the bottom lane of SK Telecom. It is coming at a cost, though. This Jace is getting put very far behind. Khan sniffs that something is definitely ajar.
Yeah,
oh,
and Dread throws out the ultimate as zoning ultimate, as the Infernal Chains will do it. In fact, Dread picks up the kill. More turret plates now available here as the Clown Drake is going to be taken by SKT. Mountain will be the next one, but they kind of wish that that was the one they just took.
The Aatrox is getting very, very strong and scary. He's going to start getting plates. This Jace is crippled. This Jace is extremely far behind. And let's take a look at the replay here. I mean, this is a very, very cookie-cutter gank setup and everything. Using the Kalista ultimate, they chain everything together, they bring down aiming, but again, it's coming at a cost, which is Khan is falling further and further behind, which means this Jace is going to be all but irrelevant. And the other thing is, SK Telecom's team composition, they have to go in. They're all very, very short range. Essentially melee
and
characters.
Super squishy, right?
And they're very, very squishy, so it plays into Aatrox.
Yeah. Oh dear. I don't think you can. You can't even hide from the Aatrox in a Twilight Shroud. Like Faker might find himself accidentally murdered.
Yeah.
In some of these team fights. As Yukal's desperately trying to hold on. Does actually find himself back in the CS race, but Faker just seems to be winning on all fronts in this 1v1. Seeker's Arm Guard is done. He's also got his sustain available with the Bilgewater Cutlass. Feeling really good, even though he doesn't have his Hextech Gunblade yet. I feel like Yukal, things are just going to get worse and worse for this this particular matchup as it stands at the moment. But it's not represented in the gold. 400 is the lead now for SKT. And a lot of that has to do with Teddy farming out very well. He's 2-0-1 now. Does have a bounty on his head. Farm is in advantage of Faker in the mid lane as well, but there are 2 turret plates that have gone down in favor of the Aatrox versus Jace lane for the Afrika Freaks, and that is a crazy thing to talk about.
Well, Hexdrinker completed for Yukal in the mid lane. It will provide him with quite a lot of durability against the Akali and the Elise. They want to kill Faker.
Yeah, Yukal wants to use his ultimate button as well. Hasn't had much of an opportunity at this stage, but Afrika Freaks are just going to transition this towards Shelly. He should be taken out relatively easily here. Yukal going to just give his jungler a hand. Dread is in a great position this game. Has himself the Sork Boots as well as the Runic Echoes and does a lot of damage. Clid opted in for the Mercury Tread, so not going to be doing as much as Shelly is going to fall, and that's just going to be more damage over, more gold over to Keen.
And if they can actually utilize the Herald immediately and convert it into turret plates, that would be the best case scenario for them. But you can see...
Yeah, another Ignite onto UCal, gets flashed on Dredgeline, is not quite far enough. Oh my god! Able to do a UCal with the Triumph proc as well. He survives! He walks away and Marta's gonna die as well. Double kill for Dread. Thank you very much. Aiming finds Teddy, but the Blast Cone is there. Ultimate theoretically wasted, but that was gigantic.
Unless, can Khan and Clid manage? Yeah, it looks like actually.
That's still a hell of a lot of plates, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of plates going down and a lot of damage. I mean, that was one hell of a last breath. Yasuo finally...
I was ready to call it over, honestly. I was ready to say that UCal had once again overextended.
Yeah.
But man, the fact that you get all of your flow back as soon as you press that button is insanely pivotal in that exact moment.
Landed the initial knockup, doesn't take it, gets ignited by Faker. Mata comes in with the flash taunt, and then right here with the sliver of HP back, they chain everything together. Triumph comes in, he ends up living. Nice champion.
Best friend Dread right there. Dread's like, I'm coming to save you. I hope we get a translation for that. Maybe I'm too lucky today, says UCal. I think he's forgotten about Game 2 already.
Delete that from your memory.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good way to stay untilted.
Yeah,
LS.
I went on, I need some eye bleach after that one.
Shake it off.
Well, you know, that was the name of a song.
It was.
That was actually very, that was a catchy song.
I liked it.
Yeah.
You know, not exactly my favorite style of music, but I respected it for what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked the message. It's a good message.
You like the message game number 2 sent?
What game?
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I like the message that UCal sent. As Dread and Mata are going to spot each other here. Control Ward is going to get taken down as SKT had control of this portion of the river. 10 seconds until that Mountain Drake is available, and you can see already Keen is wandering his way down. He's got a bit of a variety bucket of items at this point. Caulfield's Warhammer and a pickaxe for his last 2 pickups. That means he does have 20% CDR, and he's feeling pretty confident. On the Aatrox, Jace is towards the top side. Keen clearing out the minion wave in the mid. And Afrika will just wander over to this Mountain Drake, and I don't think SKT are going to be able to do too much. Oh, the teleport's going to come in, though.
They want to, apparently.
Yeah, can they actually take down this Drake beforehand, as that's a good knock-up on Mata. Fate's Call did absolutely nothing, as Faker now trying to get into this fight.
Oh, they
Keen
whip.
also trying to get the work done, as that's another huge last breath. Aiming, picks up that kill. Mata gets some knockups, but now he's found himself in the wrong position. And now Keen with the World Ender won't be going down this time. Double kill for Aiming. And Afrika have found the fight and a 3,500 gold lead.
And, you know, let me just say that if it wasn't for game number 2, I would call this one over, just due to the dynamics of the team composition. And also, how much simpler this one is to actually pilot for Afrika. You basically press your abilities. Did you get a knockup? Yes, okay, Yasuo, press R.
Yep.
And then from there, it becomes really easy for Varus and Aatrox to conduct themselves in the team fight and just keep plowing through SKT, who don't deal that well being on the defensive. Their team composition wants to just sort of plow through the opposition. And we take a look at how this all ends up transpiring, and like you were saying, I thought that they were just going to give it up. They seem to really misunderstand their current status in the game. As they were handshaking this, Clid gets completely eviscerated.
Yeah.
And just brought down. They get the World Ender passive to proc. Aatrox is no longer going to go down, and Faker just has to watch the rest of his teammates go down.
Yeah. Dread very happy with how this game went at that particular moment. 0-3-0 is Khan. An unfortunate game so far. Also, Mata not quite finding his inroads here in this composition. And we mentioned it before. I mean, you're talking about being prepared to call this game over. I think that you almost lean towards that even further, just purely looking at this team comp. SKT have a composition that wants to play from ahead, not one like this, as Dread was threatening with the flash. Actually, no, didn't have it available, so he was just body slamming aggressively and managed to get the flash out of Teddy for it.
Oh, man. Well, here we have a 4.2 thousand gold lead here. really hope that's not a Morellonomicon Gragas is building. Wouldn't want him to get any funny ideas.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah. What's wrong with a Morellonomicon?
You know what? Let's not talk about it. All right.
I quite like Morello. He's a good guy.
He was a good.
Yeah.
The item, not so much. Not so much. Not in all the situations. You might think, well, I really got to cut down the healing on the Akali and Varus. No, you don't. You just kill them.
There's also innate healing for the Elise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, it's good on him.
Oh, nice. He just bought it. Great.
Yeah, he's got it. Free up some item slots. You know, he's got a spare one. In his back pocket. It's good to have. What if you find something when you're trekking through the jungle? Now he's got somewhere to put it.
Going insane.
You're going insane. Okay, Yuka once again going to find Faker here. He has his static shift completed as well as that Hex-Tech. Sorry, the Hex Drinker. Hex-Tech Drinker.
I like the choose your own adventure Atrox thing.
Yeah, he does really have quite a few of them. They seem to be pretty effective though as well. Dender is going to come in looking for the knock-up, gets so much damage. One more auto is going to do it as he doesn't have the flash. As Khan is able to get out, but Dread, he smells blood. The Predator is well and truly here. That was a weird interaction. He's underneath the turret. Has to go golden. See your death, Mr. Dread. The ultimate! He finishes it off! 1-for-1 happens, but that's a 700 gold shutdown. I'll take that if I'm an SKT fan.
I love League of Legends Atlas.
Oh my god!
Jace's dead carcass says it all. That's basically encapsulating the game.
What a day to be alive.
I love this.
Yep.
This is going down in the record books.
This is my favorite variety of LCK that we've had so far.
Well, I hope that you remember this day many years from now.
Do you remember Tracker's knife? I don't. I don't remember that.
do.
What is that?
That was the green one, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there
That was the one that made the game boring because we were able to stabilize the game so much. But now we have craziness everywhere.
What was the... Was there a gray one? Too?
Gray one?
There was something that was gray, right?
Oh, the Poacher's one?
The Poacher.
Yeah.
No. Not Poacher's gray. Am I thinking of something? I don't
Wasn't
know.
there like one that like if you counter jungle it does?
Yeah,
that.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I think isn't that still in the game where if you get enough of them it turns into a
I thought
straight
there was a
berserk?
color.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, whatever.
I mean, there've been a lot of items in League of Legends, okay?
Okay.
You know?
You remember Deathfire? Yeah, that was...
Love that item.
That was a good item.
I remember KP Malphite. 100 to 0.
See
Deathfire
that.
Grasp. Oh my god, it was so good. Also, Deathfire Grasp Mordekaiser was like the best
See, you're a
thing
man of
ever.
culture.
How are you
Okay.
feeling about the old Mordekaiser rework?
I'm really excited to play him. I'm really sad he was my first champion ever.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, my personal favorite.
That's
As,
why we...
Keen's dead, guys.
Instead.
Faker found it. Arda was over here as well as aiming. He's going to find the ultimate. Stands in front of the Justice Punch to make sure he doesn't leave the fight.
All right,
and that is
1
going to
for 1.
confirm the kill. Senin, in fact, picks it up, I believe, with an Aftershock proc, which is certainly a high-value way to take down a kill. Not wanting to take it away from his AD carry, most likely. Aiming has gone into the Rage Blade as well, which I actually really like in this game in particular because they have a lot of physical damage. So using the fact that Varus does a lot of mixed damage is a good way to make this one work.
Yeah.
So Wit's End coming in next will mean that a lot of mixed damage will be coming out of aiming and can account for the fact that they are very AD heavy.
Gragas is also going AP, so
Oh, yes, of
this is
course.
actually really nice. Very good combo. Mountain Drake going to be spawning next as well in 4 minutes, and I mean, this is looking very reminiscent of game number 2 in a way where so many things are going Afreeca's way. They're in the driver's seat. They're in control. I don't want to call it, you know?
Yeah, I know. I know exactly how you feel, but I feel like Afreeca's composition this time has more clear ways to win the game.
Yeah, it's so much
as it
easier.
goes on, right? It's so
So
much
much
easier.
easier.
And I think that that's what they were talking about when they went into the coach's booth after the game. They're like, well, we didn't quite know what we were supposed to do to win after a certain point in the game, and that's what it felt like. And this time around, they've just given themselves those clear outs. So even though Keen falls down here, it's a 1-for-1 trade, and not too bad.
Like on a level 1 through 10 of difficulty of Afreeca's team composition, I'm going to have to rate it an Annie.
An Annie?
An Annie.
Damn.
It's that simple.
That's a low level of difficulty. But if you've got finesse, it looks real good.
See?
You flash Tibbers, it looks cool, man.
It does.
Yeah.
It really
You
does.
look like you're
especially-
really good at the game, but actually all you've done is press as many buttons at the same time as you can.
I like that.
damn, Aatrox yells a lot when he jumps around.
He does.
I hadn't really quite paid too much attention to it. I was listening mostly to your dulcet tones so far this game, but Teddy's unable to quite clear that ward.
I mean, there's actually
Oh,
not...
Flash Cocoon
Okay.
is going to land. I believe Dread does have... No, he doesn't. Stopwatch was already used, so no way of getting out of that. Marta flashes to taunt absolutely no one as Heroic Entrance is also not going to find the mark. A lot of buttons now on cooldown. Not a lot to show for it here, apart from that one kill onto Dread.
This is actually a...
I can hear the Korean cast as well. I think they're just as dumbfounded
Yeah,
as we
I
are.
actually think they are.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that they're saying is... What are they doing?
That is another one as Senin is able to flash his way out, but not far enough as Faker picks up that kill. SKT fans going nuts, and Afreeca
Going insane.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
nuts
what.
everywhere. Be careful. I know you've got
Get
allergies.
me out. Get
You've
me
got
an
allergies. That's why you wanted to leave. If everyone's going nuts, then you can't be here. Nut allergies are really serious things as Keen helps, Khan helps Keen pick up his scrum. Cool.
All right.
Yukao finds Faker.
It doesn't end. You know what? SKT, they're going to win the game.
Maybe.
SKT somehow, some way.
For all intents and purposes, they shouldn't.
Right.
As Yukao pushing really far up. Right in the face of Faker, but Faker without ultimate is unable to actually fight him. As we're going to have a look at this one yet
doing?
again. He's looking to try
Hold on. I'm getting word.
counter
I'm getting word in my left ear.
Oh, what's that? What's that?
He needed the 100 gold from the Raptor camp.
Got it.
That's
What
it.
was Marta doing?
That's-
He thought that his flash was old flash.
All right, here we go.
3 years ago. Speaking of Marta, he's going to get pulled back. That's the last breath used on the Galio. A lot of big buttons now, but Khan gets chunked for so much of his health bar. Powered Shock Blast is going to soften the members of the Afreeca Freaks. This time they don't have the Sona to bring them back up to health, but they've still started off this Baron. Glid's still alive. This theoretically is still a 50-50.
And Jace isn't there, so they have 2 options available. They can turn. It looks like they want to do
Yeah,
that.
more knockups are going to land here, but Faker just couldn't keep himself alive. That's going to mean the reset comes in on the Bloodwell. Cleared, goes golden, but that's just going to buy more time so that he's in the death chamber for what feels like a little bit longer. Khan now trying his hand, but he's just too late, and I think that Afreeca may have taken the bull by the horns finally in this game. The Baron. Oh my God. What was... They tried to give SKT the opportunity to steal.
At
didn't
that
happen.
point, all that you have to do is surround the Baron to prevent the projectile from being able to potentially steal. We're taking a look at the replay. Mata making a quick donation, trying to get a tax break as Khan, he's landing a lot of poke before he's forced to recall back home. They resume the Baron, and then SK Telecom, they think at this point, and I mean reasonably so, that, well, we have to try to do something. If we just give away the Baron, then things are not going to go good. Keen had other plans in mind, though. He's able to get the World Ender passive to reset, goes into it, but ends up falling. And then shortly thereafter, all right, sure, just cut it.
It was hop out of it. It's
Whatever.
5,000 gold now, the lead for Afreeca. We want to watch Afreeca take a free Mountain Drake. That will be the second for them. And all too easily secured. Fair bit of vision is still available here defensively for SKT, and they're positioning themselves, waiting to try and get Afreeca where they want them. But Afreeca are just going to move over to this inner turret. Gromp is going to get missed there by Khan, and inner falls. Mid lane also pushing forward. You can see it was Keen that was hanging out there, but Faker finds the minions while they're unempowered and is able to take them down pretty quickly. Shuriken backflip will get Faker to safety as well. And this is the problem, right? We're heading towards 30 minutes into this game, and then how does SKT find a fight that they want without having a perfect pick on a stray member of Afreeca Freaks?
Well,
For example, Keen right here.
wait. They can see all the members of Afreeca, and Klitsch shot the cocoon into the brush like someone might be there.
Yeah. That's another one of those times where I just don't have the answers for you, man. Like, come on. You're supposed to be... You're the answers guy, okay? I'm the questions guy. And that was a question I didn't want to ask, all right?
This is where the laws of the universe truly break down. Oh, man.
Okay, UCal splitting on the bottom side though. The Freaka Freaks still with a minute left on this Baron buff. Want to break open the base. Khan in trouble. UCal using his flow.
Faker's waiting.
Tank things up. First tower is going to go down. It's going to be the mid lane as Faker, yeah, he was thinking about a flank, but doesn't actually have too much of an opportunity to get his way in there. Senin doesn't spot him. Faker actually moves out as the sweeper heads towards the Akali, but Faker's been waiting a very long time, and if you wait too long, your Nexus just dies, right? Like, Freaka Freaks looking for their second inhibitor. And where is the way in for SKT? Where is their opportunity? Where is the team fight that they can win? And I don't even think they know where it is.
Be able to win straight up. That's the problem with not just the gold deficit. It's just so hard to run into the Afreeca team because you'll be separated by the Gragas ultimate. Aatrox will get his passive. That's a surety.
Yeah.
And so SK Telecom's team comp now, very similar to in game number 2, it's reduced to Elise Cocoons and Fog of War getting picks in order to salvage the game state, except I don't think it's going to work this time around.
Well, this has been a very weird series so far. Freaka Freaks very close to securing it. Will be their first match win of summer, and against SKT, against the Spring Champions, would be so huge for the confidence of this team. And we know that almost all of the members of this squad play around confidence. They are a team that can fall apart if they get themselves into a losing streak. It's just how the team has worked for a very long time. And at this stage, you've got Aiming finishing off his wit's end. He went and completed that, still has an unused stopwatch in his back pocket, as does Keen. They've got a lot of fighting options. Infinity Edge is done for UCal. He's completed his Maw of Malmortius as well. So he'll be sticky even if he goes down to low health. This is a Freaka's game to lose. And they've got 2 Mountain Drakes. The Nexus is not going to last very long if anyone gets towards it. They're going for a split push style. Faker spots UCal. They actually had a good position there. If UCal had kept walking forward, he would have been in trouble, but didn't have the vision.
He's playing it very Captain Careful right now.
Well, it's a surprising playstyle because we've seen him make some pretty weird decisions, especially in game number 2, but not this time.
Baron's coming up in just over a minute, so they do have other options available if they want to truly play it super safe.
Cloud Drake.
They could get Cloud Drake.
They could.
Think about it.
Well, Fate's Call is going to be used. Teddy wants to take it into his own hands, but Marta shorts it once again. Not going to have that tool to try and start any sort of engagement, and they do not have many different engage options.
Really,
now
really rough.
Clit goes in, and they get Marta's heroic entrance, and they're going to do that one more time. It was actually Faker that started this one off. Aiming goes down incredibly low, but has the cleanse. Oh, Faker, the stopwatch is going to land Senin! Helps him out, and it's Dread that secures the kill. It was so close. It was a disaster. Teddy's limping away from this one, but another kill comes in for Dread. Aiming somehow is still alive, but the SKT base is not so lucky.
And Teddy, I mean, this is this is what it all comes down to, right? Teddy's the last one standing.
Yeah, he's checking his jersey right now as he's put into the fountain. The Nexus is now exposed. SKT will lose their second match of summer, and Afreeca Freaks finally find their first. UCal is back, ladies and gentlemen. He had a weird game number 2. He had a good game number 1, and game number 3 was largely about this Gragas Yasuo combo after the mid game.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you draft this way and you can't manage to get the advantages going early on. So, Afreeca, they had a much simpler draft here in game number 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even if they did start floundering a little bit in the mid-game, they ended up being able to pull it through, eventually got the Baron, they busted the game wide open, and then from there, there was no salvaging it.
Yeah. And there were still some mishaps, there were still some problems, and there's still a very stressed coach for the Afreeca Freaks. I think maybe weeping, because he didn't know whether it was actually going to happen, and maybe after game number 2 it doesn't feel like the victory that it could have been. However, a win is a win, and Afreeca Freaks have done it. Being able to take this win in that
No, Faye, I lived with him for about a year and a half. back when he was on MVP Blue.
And it means a lot to take down the spring champions. He has a lot riding on it. You know, Nofe has been working in this industry for such a long time, and also has his own brand that he needs to move forward. And it was these 5 players that have managed to do it finally for the Afreeca Freaks.
UCal's back. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Please do not bench him.
I think like a couple of Weaver's Walls going awry is not enough for us to really put him in the bin. I think he played very, very well game 1. The first half of game 2 was extraordinary.
Yep.
And ever since that save from Dread in the mid lane, UCal played things out very, very well in game number 3 also. So great performance. The emotion is super raw here for Nofe. Just so relieved. And we might have an Afreeca Freaks that is vying for the top positions in the LCK once again. It was a weird world we lived in when KT, Gen G, and Afreeca were all at the bottom. Still not sure about the other 2, but Afreeca looking to plow ahead.
One of the reasons that he might be seemingly so, or obviously is so emotional, is because remember, Afreeca was almost in relegation.
Yeah.
And now they're coming in and they're looking so much more powerful than anything that they showed in spring.
So much more consistent as well. The problem with Afreeca was that they hadn't found a roster of players that they wanted to consistently utilize, which is such a problem in League of Legends. You need that communication and you need that understanding if you want to win games. So Afreeca fielding 15 people in different positions in spring was a huge problem. And now they've fielded the same 5 every single match, and there's been 6 of them. And to go up against Griffin and SKT and go 3-3 throughout that first week, very impressive from the Afreeca Freaks. And I hope that we see more and more from them as the weeks go on.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing phenomenal early in all of the games. I mean, Afreeca really did look like the better team here tonight. Even if they lost game 2, they looked like the better team in game 2. Until
everything
blunders.
went,
right, and then
really
it started happening here again. And it might just be a little bit of over-eagerness and whatnot. Seeing highlights on the screen right now.
And I want to throw something out there. I voted for Dread as my MVP, mostly for this moment right here.
Yeah.
Saving UCal's life.
Yeah.
Not for his zoning explosive casks, even though it did work in order to lock down the kill. And his first game on the card really set up the game. Yeah.
That's all that it was, okay? That's what they should do. They should have a Gragas skin where it's Molotov cocktail.
Like Riot Gragas, but it's actually him in a Riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could work. I mean, there's other Riot skins.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was also nice. King gets the reset, doesn't actually fall down, but knows that he can't be killed, so they got the chase in. And Afreeca did set themselves up for a great mid-game, even though things like this happened. Fadeaway jump shot was pretty cool.
I mean, if you're Khan, what are you thinking here? Your teammates have it. You see Atrox on the minimap. Just get out of range.
And how did this happen?
Oh, this was. Look at the flash from Senin. Trying to come in and help his teammate out. Varus went golden right in front of Akali.
And almost managed to get the auto attack off while the Akali was in mid-air to stop the Q. And I mean, of course, he got it off anyway, so Aiming did have to use the stopwatch, but the fact that he survived that was just insane.
I'll pay attention to it. Teleport coming in. Get Galio, get Galio. Jace. Jace no flash.
나 이제 공 있어. 바로 쳐보자.
야 바로 탱대? 나 탱대.
더블 되는데.
Yeah, go Baron, go Baron.
야 하나만 이거 너가 먹어라.
나 공인데. 너 앨리스 마크 좀 해줄래?
야 이거 아카리 들어오면 진짜 위험한데 괜찮아?
나는
괜찮아.
나 배치기로 봐줄게 내가.
나 마크 되냐 이거 앨리스?
내가 공 박을게 그냥.
일단 보내 이거 싸움 봐야 될 것 같은데? 쌈 보던가.
쌈 보자 아래쪽. 노틸.
And then they're calling to go on it. Yeah.
야 칼리.
난더 빠질게. 칼리 잡았다.
앨리스. 야 바로 쳐. 바로 치자.
Now get Baron.
버스 탄다. 야 제이스 핑크부터. 야 이거 스마 이거 딜중지 하자 딜중지.
천대 딜중계. 내 핑크 할게.
제이스 딜중지. 나
하지마. 딜하지마.
해봐 지나봐. 오씨.
Oh, he almost said F word. Yeah. He almost dropped an F-bomb there.
It actually sounded
well,
like
actually,
he
he did.
spoke English.
Yeah, he did.
He
dropped
just said
an F-bomb.
hush.
Yeah.
Yep. But that was actually pretty clean
That's
comms, to
interesting.
be honest.
Wait, they broadcast that in Korea, but they won't do that in NA, right? For you? Did they broadcast F-bombs?
I don't know whether. I mean, of course, there have been F-bombs
There
on the
has been
broadcast
F-bomb-
many times. I mean,
right,
DeFischer
right.
was a commentator, right?
But when
Like,
they have the ability to play it back, they don't, right?
I think they try to avoid it if it's like really bad, but I don't know. I mean, we had our moment with Ruler saying it when he had his penta denied last season.
Right.
So I think it's okay. And honestly, that was one of those moments.
Yeah. I mean, LOL is PG-13, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Actually,
you're allowed, I believe, one curse word, right? Is that the rule in movies? In Hollywood, I think.
I didn't actually know that.
There's actually some guidelines.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know all of them.
I'm not even sure what's a curse word anymore because I feel like more and
Yeah,
more things are slipping in
language-
as we're
yeah, language
getting
keeps
more
evolving.
desensitized to it.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know?
exactly.
There's like only a few more bastions of hope as like words that can just never be said.
There really is, yeah.
We're running out. People are just.
It's more about
we're
how
just
you
saying too
want
many.
to use the word.
I
rather
think
than the word
context
itself.
is very,
right,
very
exactly.
I think you're exactly right. However, we're not going to be dropping any of those words
Speak
because
for-
we are a PG-13 broadcast. And
Yes.
I've accidentally said a couple over my career, but not too many. I was actually very proud of myself until I made the mistake quite recently.
I slept once.
I was once, only once.
Yeah, once on the secondary stream, I think, at Worlds 2016.
Ah. See, we're all just potty mouths here. We're potty mouths.
Now I'm here.
Yeah.
Wild card region.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to talk about Papa's most recent one, which was also absolutely fantastic. He narrowly avoided making the mistake, but it was the Holy F Guacamole was my favorite. Oh, super good. If I'm ever going to do it, I think I'm just going to say for guacamole because it's the best one. But guys, that is going to be the first week done of the LCK, and Kingzone are going to be our leaders. 4-0 in game score in their first week. Absolutely fantastic stuff from those guys. I wouldn't say that their first week was also like too easy either, so impressive. But what was also impressive was Dread's Gragas performance, 10, 3, and 5. And felt like he was everywhere on the map in the early stages
really
of the game,
yeah.
even though Clid did put in another great performance on the Elise in the early stages.
The enemy team's Gragas.
And in the first 10 minutes of the game, it was our team's Yasuo as well, as he was sent back to base many, many times. But from this moment on, UCal just kept surviving.
That feels so terrible. Both Ignites were expended in that play.
Yep. That was when their feelings were broken. That's so close, but very impressive stuff and showed a lot of trust in Dread as well. Obviously, UCal was spamming that ult, but absolutely.
No, and if you're an SK Telecom fan, and I don't know. I don't really have.
I don't think it's the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but the draft.
Yeah. I think there's certain things to look at. However, they have always been a slow-starting team. I know that we've made that excuse many, many times. But it's not the end of the world to lose one match in your first week. As we throw it over to the MVP interview, so here's Ji-sun for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to be joined by Dread from Africa Prix, the solo MVP of today. They took down SK Telecom, one of the biggest favorites in LCK currently. How do you feel right now? In the last Griffin series, after we lost the first set, I really want the victory, but we did lose that finally. So I was just practicing so hard to pick up this win. And head coach Nofe was so emotional after today's win. He was in tears. He was like crying. So how was the atmosphere overall during the preparation? Well, since yesterday, it was really good. I mean, maybe since the Griffin series, we were actually really happy and really everything was going well. And one of the main focus is that you becoming a better jungler. So what kind of change did you go through? I just play solo queue a lot and practice play game a lot.
네, 아무래도 연습량이 정말 영향을 많이 줬다고
Practice is the
생각하시는 것
key,
같고요.
right?
자, 그리고 드레드 선수의 픽도 뭐
And
많이
Dredd,
변화하고 있는 것 같아요.
You
오늘
are pulling off
신짜오도 꺼내셨는데
various champions today,
신짜오에 대해서
and actually
어떤 생각을
Xin was a
가지고
little bit
계신가요?
unexpected. What are your thoughts on the champion?
옛날부터 많이 했었는데
I've played Xin for a lot of times, but not recently in solo queues and scrims, but I had good feelings today.
오늘 1세트 배픽을 보면서 딱 이건 신짜오 각이다 이런
Was
느낌이
that the
있습니다.
best situation for Xin Zhao?
자,
Yes.
요즘에 뭐 바이게 패치되면서
After the Scholar Crab patch, a lot of people are saying that Xin Zhao is becoming more valuable. Do you agree with that?
별로 그렇게 하고 싶지
I don't really want to play Xin Zhao a lot.
네, 알겠습니다. 자, 그리고 2, 3세트에서는 상대가
Game 2 and 3.
두 번이나 연속으로
SK Telecom
구성을
kept
했어요. 이 세트 좀
taking
힘들었는데
away
3세트는 어떻게
Jason
풀어야
Ellis.
된다고 생각하시나요?
Wasn't that hard to play against?
제이스 앨리스를 했었잖아요.
Well, game 3, they actually took Jason Ellis in the first and second pits.
야수
So I told our teammates and coaching staff to play Gragas and Yasuo.
제이스
좀더
앨리스
세게.
상대로?
We wanted to go with a stronger composition.
육칼 선수도 오케이 했나요?
Did Yukal say
네,
okay?
오늘 육칼
Yes.
선수와의 호흡도 정말 좋았는데
And your
그 미드
synergy
정도의
with
합이
Yukal was
점점 더
really
좋아지고 있다는
awesome.
얘기가 있어요. 드레드 선수는 육칼 선수와의 합 어떻게 보고 계신가요?
How do you rate your teamwork with Yuka currently? I think it's going really well, especially in the scrims. We are doing so well. So
3세트에서 마지막쯤에 정말 멋진 한타 장면이
in game
있었습니다.
3,
에이미
there
선수가
was
아슬아슬하게 살았던 장면인데요.
very amazing team fight over there. Aiming actually survived with 1 HP.
보고 있었는데 제가 칼리를 열심히 외쳤거든요.
I was kept shouting out like,
자기
"Watch Kalista, watch Kalista," and he was yelling like, "Save me!" So
그래서 살려줘.
he sounds so desperate. So I went there to save him.
하시던 일을 놓고 급하게 살려주러 내려와 주셨습니다. 자, 오늘 아프리카 선수들이 정말 교전 잘한다라는
In
생각이
Africa, the
있는데
players,
스프링
their
때와
ability in
좀
skirmishes
연습
was
방법이
really on
달라진 게
point. Did anything change during the preparation?
이거 말해도 되나?
I'm not sure if I'm
될
okay
것
to say
같아요.
this.
아, 네, 안 될 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다. 앞으로도 계속 좋은 모습 보여주셨으면 좋겠고요. 이제 이렇게 1승 쌓았으니까
So this is the first win of the split, and we are looking forward to seeing more. So any resolution for the summer split?
SKT랑 경기에서 2대
Today in the
1이라는 성과를
SKT
얻어냈는데
series, we
다음
got
경기는 2대 0
a 2-1 victory, but I'm gonna make it to 2-0 next time.
2대 0으로 꼭 이겨서 드레드 선수도 이 자리에서 다시
So
낼수 있었으면
this will be the end of the interview with Dredd from Africa Freaks, picking up 2-1 victory up against SK Telecom, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
감사합니다.
네, 아프리카 프릭스의 드레드 선수와 함께했습니다.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, for the translation. And great to hear from Dredd there as well. So, of course, a player that we don't get to see all that much because he was a late addition to the Afrika Freaks, so good to hear from him. And LS, do you have any any words for the most recent series of League of Legends that we just watched?
I think words fail me. Okay, I don't think that
Are you
there's
in
a
awe?
language on the planet that could quite describe what it was that we just witnessed.
We witnessed the pinnacle of
Yeah,
League of
yeah,
Legends.
you can save your extraterrestrial talk for another time. All right, you just tune into this match.
Yep.
Watch it a couple times on YouTube.
This is the best of the Mars and, of course, encompassing the moon.
All right.
Yeah. Well, Afrika SKT have put themselves on the board with their final matches.
Ooh,
and
and
they're an
Afrika.
equal third with Sandbox, Hama Life Esports, and KT. As Genji, Damwon, and Jinair are 8th and equal 9th, respectively. This is an interesting start to the LCK for summer because we've got very different teams in different positions here.
Yeah, it's another blue team that joins the left-hand side.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess like
See,
things
it's
are
not
similar
even
with
just-
KT, Genji, and Jinair, but otherwise, a bit of a switchy. And of course, guys, I know it's basically just positioning, but Hanwha Life are in 6th. That's important.
All right, well,
They are currently 3rd place. They're equal 3rd, but where they were positioned was 6th. And I think someone was lazy with the graphic,
look
right?
what I have with you next week to end it.
Oh my
You thought tonight was a
goodness.
highlight. Oh yeah, I'll see you there, buddy.
This is the dream. This is 8th versus 9th. Oh, and KT versus Gen. What a day!
Oh my god, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, that's
with you.
a banger.
So
that is
excited.
an absolute banger.
I'm bringing the
My
popcorn.
God, we better get 6
Is there a
games.
microwave back there?
We better get 6 games. Yeah, and we're actually
Oh,
we're
I'm
gonna
bring it. I'll
order
bring
out.
it.
I'm gonna treat you.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna treat you to
God,
some
okay.
order out
All right.
popcorn. We're gonna get some of the good stuff.
you-
Some of the good stuff. The
All
double
right.
cheese.
Oh my.
In fact, the popcorn here in Korea is phenomenal. If you go to the
It is. It
cinema.
actually is.
So-
Yeah, CGV. They have all the flavors.
I know, right?
They have like 12 actually or something.
I went
If you go to the one
recently-
in Yongsan.
All right. I actually
iPark?
went to the one in Sinchon just a couple of days ago to see the new
Which one?
movie
Which one?
Parasite. It was
Oh, is it in
absolutely
English or Korean?
had subtitles. There are certain showings that have subtitles.
It's Korean that has English?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go see that.
And it was the winner of the Cannes Film Festival, so worth watching. And now, this is going to be the end of the broadcast, guys, so you can go out and watch Parasite as well. Well recommended. Korean director, absolutely brilliant stuff, winner of awards. But we'll be back for the second week of LCK Summer 2019, and there will probably be more absolute insanity to ensue. We'll see you there.
You take me higher when I feel low. Make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, all with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. 'Cause this is the beginning. Together we'll be winning. With you I'm a savage. Make my sorrow silly.
네, 그레드 선수의 아주 과감한 픽이 인상적이었습니다.
You're my desire, my burning fire. I keep on rolling, oh, with your fuel. My gasoline that makes my dream come true. This is the beginning.
I'll fight until the end. This place won't grind.